Troy Calhoun. Troy, I thought your defense played remarkably well in that first half to hold any team, much less a offense like this, to 0 points. You had to be pretty pleased with what you saw out there, especially from the secondary. I thought they ran with those wide receivers very well tonight.
You know, Jesse, as we move forward, I think we're going to see some exceptional skill in this league. And, we gave up a couple of big plays there in the second half and gave up a couple of long drives too. But that's a team, and I say that from the standpoint we did not sustain drives on the offensive side to help our team in that regard.
Elisha, I thought, matched up with Bailey Gaither, who's got game-breaking speed. He got the inside position, got his first interception. Had to be pleased with the way that he played here tonight.
It's good for all these guys to be involved. You know, you look at the number of guys that really this is the first time they've ever played. So for these guys to be exposed to college football, and we're getting ready to go through a pretty good stretch here. I think it'll end up being 7 games in 40 days. So, we got to live and we got to learn, and we got to get going down the road and have a good Monday.
Troy, it was tough to get yards inside the tackles. You tried to get to the outside some, but it seemed like it was very inconsistent getting to the outside.
Yeah, that's it, Jim. You're right. In both ways. Yes, sir. Where we got to be able to get, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but some of those interior runs need to gain 2 more yards, and when you do that, maybe you're a little better on the perimeter, and I think we can block better on the perimeter too.
Troy, when you scored the touchdown, you kicked the extra point, but then decided to go for 2. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, Jim, it's the ball's at the 1.5, and golly, you got to be able to knock a ball in there if you're going to win. It's no different there at the end of the second quarter. You got to be able to get a ball into the end zone, and we did not do that.
Last question, Troy. What are the primary focuses as you get set to take on the defending Mountain West champions coming to your place next Saturday?
To go to work on Air Force. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, and that's why we need to get to Monday, Jesse.
It's a tough evening. You're scoreless at halftime. When you talked about what you were doing against San Jose State defensively, did you make any changes, or were you happy with what you had done in the first half of tonight's game?
During the first half, I just thought Coach didn't think we played well in the first half, mindless of the score, even though they put up 0 points. There were some adjustments, like getting rid of the banger to the boundary and just their explosives, because they were trying to throw the 84 the whole time and just focusing on that and giving up the short throws. So that's what we focused on coming out in the second half.
There's so many things I would think you have to worry about. You talked about 84, Gaither, Walker, and then Deese, the tight end, and he was able to get behind you guys when they were down near the goal line. Those were a couple of big throws. He looks like he's a tough guy to cover.
Anybody's coverable, not to be cocky or anything. It's just, it comes down to what we do in practice every day, what our coaches teach us, and just our fundamentals and our technique. And we fell a little short of that today, especially tackling and, being able to cover a guy and just playing the man.
Elisha, Jesse Kurtz here, 9 tackles. You're the leading tackler for the Falcons. You get a pick. Talk about your first pick of the season. I mean, you had great position on Bailey Gaither and wrestled it away.
It was a good experience, being able to get that and give the ball back to the offense. It felt great, and then I wish we could have got a win with that, and it would have been a better celebration. But it definitely feels surreal being able to play with my brothers. It was a fun one, but just kind of bummed about the loss. So.
Where are the primary places that you guys need to focus on as you get set to take on the defending Mountain West champions a week from now?
Yeah, so we're taking on Boise State next week. So I just think it comes down to being physical and tackling. That's what makes a great defense, and you can shut out all the shudder and all the talk. So just coming down to being physical and tackling, and just what they teach us in practice, technique and everything we're taught.
There were tough yards here today. San Jose State did a really good job, I thought, of really collapsing between the tackles and made it tough on you guys.
Yes, sir. They
came out running a new front that we didn't really expect them to run because this is their first game, and so they did a good job of just how they game schemed everything, and our linemen did a good job too. I just didn't break enough tackles, and that's just how it shook out.
Tim, this is Jim Arthur. How much do you think you missed Nolan Laufenberg and Kyle Krebs because they were not here on this trip?
We missed them a lot. It was definitely noticeable, but those guys who came in stepped up, and they did their job, I think, well enough. We just needed to break more tackles inside, and like, you can't block everyone.
Tim, the outside running, we saw Brandon Lewis show that burst of speed. How valuable can he be in the outside running game if you guys continue to use him as a slot back and use his speed to the outside?
Yes, sir. I think you guys saw a glimpse of him tonight, and he'll definitely be a threat on the outside and in the passing game. He's definitely one of our faster guys on the team, so he'll be a big impact.
Tim, 2 turnovers tonight, and when you're in a tight game, it seems like turnovers, any kind of mistakes are maybe magnified a bit more. Did you get that sense tonight with those turnovers?
Yes, sir, especially like mine at the end, leaving it inside, I think the red zone, 20 yards, 10 yards, gave them an easy gateway to score, and it put them up one extra one over us, so definitely hurt.
Last question, Tim, and we'll let you go. What are some of the primary focuses that you see for this offense as you get set to take on Boise State, who is the defending conference champions?
I think just building depth within our guys just in case any more COVID-related stuff happens, so we'll be ready to go for the next game, and thinking about how we can manage our players and manage guys like Bilu, me, Zeke, like being able to effectively spread everything out.